The city thrummed with life, its pulse echoing in the neon-lit streets where every corner held a promise or a secret. Leo stepped into the bar, the heavy bass of the music sinking into his bones, a welcome distraction from the weight of a week that had left him frayed. He needed a drink, maybe 10 to blur the edges of his exhaustion. The bar was a dive, its walls scuffed and its lights dim, but it was familiar, a place where no one asked too many questions. He slid onto a stool at the counter, ordering his usual whiskey neat, and let the world fade into the background. Then someone sat beside him. Leo barely noticed at first, assuming it was just another stranger seeking solace in a glass. But when he glanced over, his breath caught. The man was tall, with tousled blonde hair that caught the bar's faint light like a halo. His face was sharp and unfairly handsome, the kind of beauty that belonged on a movie screen, not in a place like this. Leo tried not to stare, but his eyes betrayed him, lingering a moment too long. "What? Never seen a guy before." The man's voice was warm, teasing, with a smirk that danced at the corner of his mouth. Leo chuckled, shaking his head to cover the heat creeping up his neck. "Not one like you." The man ordered a shot of something dark and potent, downing it with a grace that made it look effortless. "Rough day?" Leo asked, more to keep the stranger's attention than out of genuine curiosity. "You could say that," the man replied, setting the glass down with a soft clink. His voice carried a weight that hinted at stories untold. "But I'm guessing you're not here to swap sob stories." "Maybe I am," Leo said, leaning back, trying to play it cool. "Name's Leo." "Jack?" the man said, turning to face him fully. His blue eyes locked onto Leo's, and for a moment, the bar's noise faded. There was a spark in that gaze, something electric that Leo couldn't name but felt deep in his chest. "You alone tonight?" Leo asked, raising his glass. "For now," Jack said, his eyes flickering with something unreadable. "You?" Leo shrugged. "Same." He took a sip, the whiskey burning a path down his throat. "What about you? Got ditched or something?" Jack ran a hand through his hair, a sigh escaping him. "Yeah, by my so-called friends. Their loss, right?" Leo snorted. "Definitely." Jack's laugh followed, deep and genuine, and Leo found himself wanting to hear it again. The conversation flowed effortlessly, like they'd known each other longer than the span of a drink. They traded quips, shared half-truths, and skirted around the heavier things that lingered beneath the surface. There was something about Jack, confident, yet guarded, charming yet raw, that made Leo want to stay, to peel back the layers and see what lay beneath. "Why don't we get out of here?" Jack said suddenly, his voice cutting through Leo's thoughts. "This place is dead." Leo blinked, caught off guard. "And go where?" Jack shrugged, his smirk returning. "Anywhere. Everywhere. Just not here."
The invitation hung between
them, daring and reckless. Leo hesitated, but Jack's eyes held a quiet challenge, a promise of something more. "Sure," Leo said, tossing back the rest of his drink. "Why not?" They paid their tabs and stepped into the night, the cool air a sharp contrast to the bar's stuffy warmth. The city glowed around them, its lights casting a golden haze over the streets. They walked side by side, shoulders brushing occasionally, the silence between them charged with possibility. Leo stole glances at Jack, trying to read him, but Jack was a puzzle, open one moment, distant the next. "So," Leo said, breaking the quiet, "what's a guy like you doing in a dump like that?" Jack's lips quirked. "A guy like me? What's that supposed to mean?" "You know what I mean?" Leo said, nudging him lightly. "You don't exactly blend in." "Neither do you," Jack shot back, his eyes meeting Leo's for a fleeting second. "If you must know, I need it to blow off some steam." "What kind of steam?" Jack hesitated, his hands shoved deep into the pockets of his leather jacket. "Work's been hell. Personal life's complicated. Let's leave it at that." Leo nodded, sensing the boundary. "Sounds like you could use another drink." He gestured toward a liquor store glowing across the street. "How about we grab something and find somewhere quiet?" Jack studied him, as if weighing the risk. Then he nodded. "Yeah, that sounds good." They bought a bottle of whiskey, the cheap kind that promised warmth over finesse, and wandered until they found a small park tucked away from the city's hum. It was late, the benches empty, the only sound the rustle of leaves in the breeze. They sat close, passing the bottle back and forth, the whiskey loosening their tongues and softening the world's edges. "So," Leo said, handing the bottle to Jack, "what's got you so twisted up?" Jack stared at the ground, his fingers tightening around the bottle. "My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, now she cheated on me." His voice was flat, but the hurt beneath it was unmistakable. Leo felt a pang, recognizing the rawness of betrayal. "I'm sorry, man."
That's rough.
Yeah. Jack took a long swig, his throat working as he swallowed. "It's over now. I'm just trying to move on." "Is that what tonight's about?" "Moving on." Jack paused, his eyes distant. "Maybe. Or maybe I just wanted to forget for a while." Leo nodded, understanding more than he wanted to admit. They sat in silence, the whiskey warming their veins, the night wrapping around them like a cocoon. Jack's presence was a quiet pull, a gravity Leo couldn't ignore. Their shoulders were close now, almost touching. And when Leo glanced over, he caught Jack watching him, his blue eyes searching. "What's your story, Leo?" Jack asked, breaking the spell. "Why are you out here drowning your sorrows?" Leo shrugged, deflecting. "Not much to tell. Work's a grind. Social life. Eso non existento, needed a break?" Jack raised an eyebrow. "Come on, don't give me that. What's really going on?" Leo sighed, the whiskey loosening his guard. "Fine. Work's killing me? Yeah, but it's more than that. I'm just tired. Tired of feeling like I'm stuck, like nothing's ever gonna change?" Jack nodded, his expression softening. "I get that. Feels like you're running in place, right?" "Exactly." Leo took the bottle, the burn of the whiskey grounding him. "And here we are, two messed up guys with nowhere to go." Jack laughed, the sound bright against the quiet night. "Sounds about right." As the bottle dwindled, their words grew bolder, their laughter louder. They talked about dreams they'd abandoned, places they'd never seen, people who'd left scars. Jack's hand brushed Leo's when he passed the bottle, and neither pulled away. The air between them thickened, charged with something unspoken. Leo's heart raced, his mind teetering between caution and desire. Their eyes met, and for a moment, time stopped. Leo saw it in Jack's gaze: vulnerability, curiosity, a question neither was ready to answer. But before Leo could speak, Jack looked away, clearing his throat. "We should call it a night," he said, his voice too even, like he was trying to convince himself. "Yeah," Leo agreed, though every part of him wanted to stay. They stood, unsteady from the whiskey, and walked back toward the city's glow. At the corner where their paths would split, Leo paused, not ready to let the night end. "Hey, Jack," he said, the words tumbling out before he could stop them. "If you ever want to talk or just hang 'em around?" Jack looked at him, something flickering in his eyes. "Yeah," he said softly, "I might take you up on that." And then he was gone, his silhouette fading into the night. Leo stood there, the city's pulse thrumming in his chest, wondering if he'd just found something, or lost it before it could begin. Days passed, each one heavier than the last. Leo replayed that night, endlessly, the spark in Jack's eyes, the warmth of his laugh, the way the whiskey had tasted better shared. He didn't expect to hear from Jack again, told himself it was just a fleeting moment, but hope lingered like a stubborn ember. Then his phone buzzed. "Jack, you up for that drink?" Leo's heart leapt. He typed back, trying to keep it cool. "Sure. When and where?" "Jack, there's a spot I know. Meet me at 7. The bars was different this time, smaller, tucked away in a quiet corner of the city, the kind of place you had to seek out." Jack was already there, a drink in hand, his presence filling the room. "Hey," he said, his smile hesitant but real. "Hey," Leo replied, sliding onto the stool beside him. "Fancy place," Jack shrugged. "Better than the last one." He took a sip, his eyes lingering on Leo. "You been okay?" "Yeah," Leo said, though it wasn't entirely true. "You?" Jack paused, choosing his words. "Been thinking a lot about that night." Leo's pulse quickened. "What about it?" Jack turned to face him, his gaze steady. "I don't usually let people in, Leo, but with you, it was easy. I don't know why, But it was. Leo nodded, feeling the same pull. Yeah, it was. Jack let out a small laugh, like he was relieved. It's weird, right? We've known each other, what, a few hours? But it feels like more. Maybe. It's the whiskey, Leo teased, but his voice was soft. Jack didn't laugh. He leaned closer, his expression shifting. Maybe? But I don't think that's all it is. The words hung there, raw and unguarded. Leo's breath caught, the air between them crackling with everything unspoken. What are you saying? Jack sighed, running a hand through his hair. I don't know what's going on. I've always been with women. Leo? Always. But you. I can't stop thinking about you. And it's messing with my head. Leo's thoughts spun, but he kept his voice steady. Maybe it doesn't need to make sense. Maybe we just see where it goes. Jack looked at him. Really looked, and after a long moment, he nodded. Yeah, maybe we do. The night blurred into laughter and shared glances, the tension between them shifting into something warmer, something alive. When they left the bar, their steps were lighter, their shoulders brushing as they walked. At the corner, Jack hesitated, then turned to Leo. You want to come back to my place? He asked, his voice low but steady. Leo smiled, his heart answering before his mind could. Yeah, I do. Jack's apartment was small but tidy, a snapshot of a life Leo was only beginning to glimpse. A framed photo caught his eye, a woman, smiling, her arms around Jack. Is that her? Leo asked quietly. Jack followed his gaze, his expression tightening. Yeah, or what? Leo didn't push. They sat on the couch, close but not touching, the air heavy with possibility. What now? Leo said, half joking, trying to ease the tension. Jack turned to him, his eyes searching. I don't know, he said, voice raw. But I don't want to think anymore. I just want to feel something real. The words broke something open. Leo leaned in, the kiss soft at first, tentative, like they were both afraid it might vanish. Then Jack's hand found Leo's neck, pulling him closer, and the kiss deepened, fierce and hungry, like a dam breaking. They poured everything into it, doubt, longing, hope, and for a moment, the world was just them, just this. When they pulled back, Jack's breath was uneven, his forehead pressed to Leo's. Leo, he whispered, voice thick, I've never with a guy. I don't know what I'm doing. Leo smiled, touching his cheek. We don't have to rush. One step at a time. Jack nodded, and they kissed again. Slower now, the urgency giving way to trust. The night unfolded gently, a quiet exploration of something new, something real. As dawn crept through the blinds, Leo lay beside Jack, listening to his steady breathing, knowing the world outside would bring questions they weren't ready for. But, for now, this was enough. Morning light spilled across the room, soft and unforgiving. Leo woke first, his mind racing. Last night had been everything, but now, in the quiet, doubts crept in. Jack stirred beside him, his eyes opening slowly. For a moment, they just looked at each other, the weight of what they'd done settling between them. Morning, Leo said, trying to sound light. Morning, Jack replied, his voice rough. He stared at the ceiling, his silence loud. Leo's chest tightened. Jack, Leo began, searching for words. About last night. I don't know what I'm doing, Jack interrupted, sitting up, his back to Leo. I've never felt like this before. It's confusing. It's okay to be confused, Leo said softly. We don't have to figure it out right now. Jack rubbed his face, tension radiating from him. That's just it, Leo. I don't know what this is. Last night felt right, but now, he trailed off, his fear palpable. We don't need a label, Leo said, reaching for him but stopping short. Whatever this is, it's ours. We'll take it slow. Jack turned, his eyes conflicted. I don't want to hurt you, but I don't know how to do this. I'm not asking for more than you can give, Leo said, his voice steady despite the ache in his chest. Just be honest with me. Jack nodded, but his expression was strained. I need to clear my head. Can we take a step back? Just for a bit? The words stung, but Leo forced a smile. Yeah. Whatever you need. Jack stood, running a hand through his hair. I'm sorry. Don't be, Leo said, standing too. Take your time. He left a note on Jack's counter. I'm here if you want to talk. Take care. Leo Ann stepped into the morning, the uncertainty heavy in his chest. The days that followed were a quiet torture, each one stretching endlessly. Leo threw himself into work, into anything, but Jack's absence was a shadow he couldn't shake. Then, one evening, his phone buzzed. Jack, can we talk? Leo's hands shook as he replied. Of course. Jack. My place. Tonight. Jack opened the door, his face a mix of nerves and resolve. Hey, he said, stepping aside to let Leo in. Leo replied, searching his expression. They sat on the couch, the silence heavy, until Jack spoke. I've been thinking, he said, his voice low. About us. About that night. It scared me, Leo. What I felt. It wasn't something I expected. I've never been with a guy before. Get it, Leo said gently. It's a lot. Jack's eyes stayed on the floor. I thought about pretending it didn't happen, but I couldn't stop thinking about you. About how it felt. Right. Even if it scared the hell out of... Leo's heart thudded. So what do you want to do? Jack looked up, his gaze steady. I don't know what this means for my life yet. But I know I don't walk away from you. I want to figure it out together. Relief flooded Leo. You're sure? I'm sure, Jack said, reaching for his hand. But I'll need you to be patient. I'm gonna mess up. We'll figure it out, Leo said, squeezing his hand. One step at a time. They sat there, holding hands, the world shifting into focus. It wasn't perfect, but it was a spark in the night that promised to grow if they let it.